One of the most legendary cartoon and comic strip characters is Popeye the Sailor, famous for his love of spinach and saving his darling olive oil from the dastardly Bluto. Meanwhile, Robert Altman is an excellent director, able to utilize large casts and create atmospheres filled with overlapping dialogue. For some reason, it was decided that these two figures of filmdom would be a great fit together. And what we got was the live-action feature version of Popeye, a noble effort that does not work at all. And as my introduction makes clear, the biggest problem is the pairing of material and director. It's just a strange choice on producer Robert Evans and the studio's part. This is like if John Huston directed Annie. Oh, right, that did happen. Well, okay, then it's more like if Roman Polanski directed a pirate swashbuckler. Wow, really? Film executives sure were inspired in the 1980s. Robert Altman's films have a certain deliberate pace, which is perfect for something like Nashville and Gosford Park. The Fleischer Popeye cartoons were known for their non-stop energy and brilliantly animated and elastic fight scenes, so Altman makes for an odd fit as his film is drawn out with nary a fight scene. We get a couple thrown into this near 2-hour film, but real people lack the physicality of cartoon characters, particularly the expressive ones seen in Fleischer Brothers shorts. There was an incredible gymnastics in those cartoons which does not show up in this film, to the best efforts of the actors. We mostly get tedious scene after tedious scenes of the citizens of Sweet Haven participating in not particularly amusing comedy bits. Altman mixed the characters and stories from the comic strip with the look of a Fleischer cartoon, but the script cannot seem to structure the episodic nature of the film in a way that grabbed my interest. Also contributing to this problem are the songs by Harry Nilsson. A musical is supposed to have songs that advance the plot and the characters, but these just pad the runtime of a film where the story is already thin. Whenever one of these tunes play, the movie screeches to a halt. There's also an annoying simplicity to the lyrics and melodies, and Nilsson seems to favor repetition in his songwriting. A prime example of this is how one song has Olive Oil sing many times about how large Bluto is, followed by Bluto singing his own song about how mean he is. The uninspiring choreography does not help matters. Popeye is, for the most part, how we expect him to act. Even if the physicality feels off, it's still recognizably Popeye was seen on the screen. Except for one key missing element. This Popeye hates spinach. You heard that right. Popeye, in this movie, hates spinach. I understand this film is meant to act as an origin story for him as we find out how he arrived at Sweet Haven, adopted Sweepy, and fell in love with olive oil. But his love and necessity for spinach is such an important character trait, and it makes little sense we have to wait until the end of the movie for him to eat it. Oh wait, no, he doesn't eat spinach, it's force-fed to him. That kind of highlights one of the big problems here, as Altman made a Popeye movie that may work for an outside audience, but does little to enchant Popeye fans like myself who have come to see him eat spinach and knock Bluto's lights out in creatively choreographed fight scenes. We have to sit through about 90 minutes of padded musical numbers and slow scenes of deadweight slapstick before we get to the portion of the film that seems like it will finally resemble a Popeye cartoon. But nope, we have to have a slow boat chase where characters are a million miles away from the camera. Again, this is effective in other Robert Altman films, but kind of frustrating in Popeye. When he finally eats spinach and has a big fight scene with Bluto, it lasts a few seconds and mostly takes place in the water, so it's difficult to see the punches. And then the movie is over. It's not hard to see why people were disappointed by this film back in 1980. Despite what I criticized in this movie, there are some things worthy of praise. First, the acting is excellent. Altman had always been an actor's director, known for giving them a certain amount of freedom on the set. He also had a keen eye for who should play what roles. Robin Williams really does embody Popeye. The voice and the little mannerisms are wonderfully portrayed. If there is an Altman trademark that does suit Popeye, it's the ad-lib dialogue. Voice actor Jack Mercer will mutter improvised lines when recording his dialogue, and Williams continues that tradition with, of course, his mouth barely moving or not moving at all. Shelley Duvall is note-perfect casting as Olive Oyl. That is undoubtedly Olive Oyl in the flesh. Paul L. Smith as Bluto and Paul Dooley as Wimpy are also amazingly accurate portrayals of those characters. And while I do have problems with the actors not quite bringing the proper cartoonish movement to the more physical scenes, Bill Irwin is the exception. Some of the few laughs in Popeye come courtesy of Irwin's elastic body language. The sets they built for Sweet Haven are also incredible. I bought this as a community, with each building serving the proper function and service. If a studio builds a set on location, they will sometimes tear it down, but the crew left it standing in Malta, and it remains a popular tourist attraction today. Popeye the movie enjoys a cult following today, and while I understand why others would be charmed by it, I found myself rather underwhelmed and disappointed. I did not think much of it when I was younger, but being more familiar with Robert Altman's work, I hope to appreciate it more now. If anything, my familiarity with Altman only lessened my opinion of Popeye, because it displays to me why he was the wrong choice to make this film. But hey, I guess it could be worse. The director of Scooby-Doo could have worked on this. Wait, really? Is this why he likes making live-action cartoon adaptations? Anyway, despite my negative assessment of Popeye, I will actually end this video by recommending you watch it. You might end up on the side of people who enjoy it, or you might side with detractors like myself. Wherever your opinion falls, I just want to say, you're not wrong. See you next time.